Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is Rustl'd for the 15th of March, 2018. I am sorry I am about 15 minutes late. I had some connectivity issues, and I was very much trying to locate today's news stories because I was, honest to God, finding very little that sounded interesting enough to want to talk about. And so here we are, dealing with this and everything else. And I just realized that I totally closed out something that I needed. So let me bring that back up here. Oh my goodness, what a day! What a day! I was just catching up on the whole situation with Harmful Opinions being booted out of his house, and everything else. So that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. You know, like I only got half the video, but he said something along the lines that that he wanted to his mom wanted him to like claim he was schizophrenic, and yeah, that's a hell of a thing to put on a family member. That's a hell of a thing to ask of a family member. I can't tell you if it's real or not, but it's definitely a hell of a thing. You know, there are people out there that obviously are going to disagree. They're obviously not going to believe that anyone, you know, Harmful Opinions has done anything wrong. And it's entirely possible that he is entirely fine, that the whole situation is just insanely messed up on behalf of his parents, which hopefully is not the case. So, all right, let's take a look here. Whoops, that's a little bit too all right. Okay, cool. Looks like we're good there. Oh my gosh. So yeah, there's what's going on with you guys? Like I said, today has been like a real slow ass news day, it feels like. So there's I don't want to talk about Donald Trump Jr. getting a divorce. I don't. Like, that's not something I find interesting. So when you talk about current events and you talk about what's interesting, at least to you, and there's nothing of value, it totally sucks. But I did scrape together 4 stories that I do feel are interesting, and I think they'll be fun to go through here. So there's definitely going to be a bit of that. I do quickly though want to send this out on social media. I totally spaced on doing that. And okay, talking about GTA and whether or all right, come on in for the shit, I'm so out. I don't have caffeine, I'm out of it. Where are we at now for the okay, well, yeah. Let's give that a shot. See if we can pull anyone in who's looking for a good time, looking for a good time this evening. But yeah, so did I catch IRL Blood Sports? Oh, was that the one where the guy was walking through like the neighborhood and like had the Streamlabs on speaker, and if people said something that like was saying something like Trayvon Martin deserved to be shot. I saw a screen cap of that or something. That's horrible. It's also, yeah, it's way more entertaining. That's the next phase for Clearly for the morning. Kumite is gonna have to get failure accomplished outside with the exact same setup and just see what happens. That's what's gonna have to happen with that one. What about my vape? Oh, where is my vape? Yeah. Thank you. See, you guys pay attention. Man, like last night, I didn't get to bed till like 4. I got woken up at 6 by the baby, and then like I got maybe a little bit of nap here and there. Today's one of those days, you know, where you're just like, man, I'm exhausted, I'm tired. I took a nap this evening, and like I woke up at like 8:30, and I still needed to like do all my shit, and I'm like, fuck. So I almost, I still wanted to kind of get to the stream on time. I almost canceled it tonight. Oh, he was in downtown LA, the UCLA, they got kicked out. Well, downtown LA, I mean, yeah, that's pretty funny. That's pretty funny, man. I want to I need to watch that. Digi for the caffeine. Yeah, this is, yeah, definitely. Russians are going to infiltrate us. I prefer they look like Jennifer Lawrence. I don't think you are alone in thinking that. I don't believe you are alone in that at all. Although, what's this whole thing? Ava DuVernay is going to be doing the New Gods movie, and I'm all like, did you not notice that her last movie was kind of a failure? Like, I mean, you know, $31 million. I mean, 31 million on an opening weekend is not super bad, but it was like, it's a big budget spectacle starring Oprah Winfrey, and they're like only 31 million. So that's not good. But then Warner's is like, well, we really need to like get someone in here who has a high profile and has people have low expectations for. So obviously that's going to be Ava DuVernay, and that's going to be bad. Like, her doing a big budget spectacle is not the right course of action, in my opinion. There was a bridge collapse in Miami. See, here's the thing: is like talking about that here is one thing, but like doing, like, we could chit chat about it, but doing an actual video on it, I don't really feel like the right thing. That sound, you know, however weird that sounds, that's kind of where we are right now. Crimson 666, In-N-Out Burger is all right. In-N-Out Burger, yeah, it's all right, man. Like their shakes are good. Their shakes are pretty tight. I got food poisoning from an In-N-Out once, so I have trouble going back there again. Thanks. Oh, you like the Star Wars video? Yeah, I threw it on tonight. I didn't, you know, I got this for like $20 at JCPenney. It's a nice one. I like it quite a bit. Today is the anniversary of Caesar's assassination. All right. Good for Caesar. What about some YouTube drama? Yeah, I spent all day dealing with that shit. Nah, I'm good. I will say though, I will say this. I read that Daily Beast article on JF, and I already known most of that information, but I got him to block me on Twitter, and I'm okay. I'm pretty happy about that, to be honest with you, because his response was like, I have slept with many women. Some have been a 10, others have been 5 out of 10, you know? And I'm all like, yeah, but the girl that you tried to get pregnant out of Texas was Hispanic, and you want a white ethno state. And no one else in a white ethno state is going to really be supportive of you having a half white baby. That's the kind of defeats the purpose of an ethno state. And never mind the fact that there are people out there that will be mad at him for even having relations with a non-white woman, and they'll kick him out. So I said your ethno state dream is as dead as your medical career. And I got blocked pretty quick on that one. So I thought that was pretty funny. I thought that was pretty good. And so there's that. What did I think about the Magical Oprah movie? I haven't watched it yet. Any movies I'm planning on watching this year? A lot, actually. If I could get to the fucking theater, I really want to go see Tomb Raider, but it's like one car and I'm home with the kid 5 days a week. It just makes it difficult to get out to go see a movie. You know, and so it's kind of like that. I really want to go see Tomb Raider this weekend because I've been looking forward to Tomb Raider now for like 2 years. So I really want to go see it. So there's definitely that. Let's see, but yeah. Other than that, the YouTube drama is kind of like iffy. I will say though, because I did see this, Andy was hanging out with Baked Alaska. He's been hanging out with Baked Alaska. He went to LA to go hang out with Baked Alaska. At this point, can you even like remotely claim he's not alt-right, or at least very, very, very sympathetic to the alt-right? Like he is, you know, if this was a prison movie, he'd be like, okay, just a tip. Just a tip, right? And then I also kind of figured out too, and this will probably end up being, you know, shown to him, which is fine. Reading that Daily Beast article, looking at the levels of manipulation of developmentally disabled people that JF Garapia tends to go for, it kind of makes sense. In fact, it's a pretty decent explanation as to why things have gone the way that they've gone with Warski Live over the course of the past 3 months, right? I mean, Andy was already kind of in a state after the whole situation with Francesca fell apart. Here comes all this drama, a lot of pushback from friends, a lot of obvious stress that's come from that. And then here comes JF Garapy coming in there saying, no, Andy, you are God, you are great, you are awesome, you know, Allah, you know, Allah Andy, right? Sort of thing. And then you go from there. Right. This is a weird theory, but I'd argue that it's probably more accurate than not. Listening to that stream the other night, the We Has Liberalists, and how JF was, you know, very much playing up the Andy will go down in the annals of history when they write the history books. that kind of language is designed to keep him elevated, to keep his mental state elevated as a way of furthering the control. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen in the next couple weeks. So there's definitely that. So there was IRL. That was the IRL blood sports. Oh, Banked, Worski, and Asian Andy trying to see who could endure cringe the longest. What kind of cringe? If I like deep fried food but I want to get healthier, get an air fryer. I didn't know those things are true. Let's see. Did I hear the reps have introduced an internet tax for stores not on USA soil so that brick and mortar USA stores can have an advantage? Wow, that's interesting. It does make some sense though, considering that they want to, Toys R Us announced 800 store closure. Kmart and Sears are probably going to have a lot of closures this year. Macy's is also going to be seeing the exact same thing. A lot of retail outlets are going to be going away because people are shopping online. And, that's just par for the course. Retail outlets cannot compete. They just cannot compete. I did hear, let's see. Oh, they were walking through downtown LA with speakers blasting super chats. Oh, okay. So, Andy did that too. Oh, Jesus. That's pretty funny. I will admit that's actually pretty funny. That's pretty crazy that they would do that kind of that. I mean, like, I wouldn't even do that kind of shit. I also have no real reason to do that kind of shit. So, there we go on that one. Wilder was the best Willy Wonka end of line. Well, there's only been like 2 people that have played Willy Wonka, so it's kind of like whatever. It's kind of like whatever. Retail is dead. The only thing you go to Walmart for is groceries. Yeah, I hear you, man. I'm kind of the same way. I go to Walmart. Like, I would go to Walmart to even buy Walmart or Best Buy to buy movies because I still buy physical copies of movies. I've got Thor right here, and I want to go pick up Justice League. I just haven't gone to the store to go buy it yet. And but it's like now they're charging like $25 for a Blu-ray, and I'm like, it was 20, now it's like 25. I'm like, I can wait a little bit. Like, Warner Brothers movies will end up dropping in price, pretty well. Like, they'll drop in price pretty quickly. If you not quickly, I'd say if you wait like 4 or 5 months, I could probably pick up Justice League for $15 on a sale or something. So that's fine with me. But like next week, Star Wars comes out. I will be buying that just because I do have to add that to my collection. Yeah, Garrick, I heard that H.R. McMaster is out of the White House. Yeah, I did hear that. Let's see. You buy almost everything but food off of Amazon? Yeah, a lot of people do. I haven't talked about Dylan Roof's sister getting caught with the firearm. I did read about it, but again, the thing is, if I talk about that, like, there's no monetization in it, and the way things have been lately with YouTube in terms of news-related content is not looking great, to be honest with you. Not bad, not horrible, not end of the world sort of situation, but it's like, it's weird. Whereas $3 Theater is, oh my God, outperforming like crazy. So, and I'm putting out way less content over there and getting better results. So there's something that's happening. I like doing the streams, so that's why I do them. But that's what's going on. So it's really weird with all this shit. So I got to be careful about what kind of news I talk about. If you guys remember earlier in the week, I did a story about that guy, the Walt Disney World employee that was found. His body was found in the backyard after 3 years. YouTube demonetized that one. Like, okay. The video is going to come out Sunday morning, I think, and like no one's going to watch it. So there's that. So you get toilet paper via Amazon. You felt bad for the mailman with a big ass box. It was like, though, shit, dude. I at least pick up toilet paper from Costco. Like $15 for 30 some odd rolls will last me a while. Do a crossover with Nostalgia Critic. I don't think Doug would want to have me around. I don't think so. I don't think Doug cares about people that aren't in his particular circle, to be honest with you. So, You got Def Leppard's Mirror Ball for $7. Yeah, well, the thing is, I think Walmart and Best Buy have said that they're gonna, or is it Target and Best Buy have said they're gonna stop selling CDs. So like you're gonna be able to find a lot of them. Like I was looking at Best Buy and they had a Tupac album for like $7, but it wasn't the Tupac album I wanted. And I was like, well, no, I'm not gonna do that. What about Rags? Who's what? Rags? Your pal Rags? Is that what you're talking about? Did you? Yeah, but well, the thing is, selling CDs is kind of like it's over. It's I mean, the CD medium will never go away, obviously, but was it iHeartRadio filed for bankruptcy yesterday because because of streaming? Like they just can't keep up with it. The costs are the profits are too low, and the costs are too high. So there's that. Maybe just focus on weird wild news stories. Yeah, there's not a lot today. I was looking too. I mean, I got a couple here. I got one. Which one are we doing? We're gonna be doing. Let's see here. A girl attacked her boyfriend with a samurai sword because he had a Tinder profile. That was kind of fucked up. There's gonna be a study about Grand Theft Auto and like it having no significant changes in behavior. So that's good. Wikipedia kind of going like we have no freaking clue what's going on with YouTube here. And so there's that. And let me just bring that up. Okay, I'm gonna try to have that up there. And then also Fox News is being sued by Seth Rich's family. So like there are some stories. There are things worth talking about. Obviously, it's just it's more along the lines of just kind of what the hell. So. Today is very much an off day. I'm very glad that it's the end of the week, right? That once I wrap up tonight, I can go to bed and then not have to worry about shit for a couple days because I could use a break, to be honest with you. And part of that problem, I'll fully admit, is man, fucking Twitter. Claude Sanchurk, I don't know if I'm going to be in the Discord or not afterward. It depends. I jumped in last night for a little bit. So, keep an eye on Tomo News. They are out of Taiwan, and they find the more wackier international stories. Okay, hold on. I'm actually going to bring that into my my RSS feeder. So, I finally figured out though. Well, I got to find like actual. Let's see, Tomo News. Okay, Tomo News US, only 42 articles a week. Tomo Upload, Tomo Funnies, 1 article per month. And there's not a lot here. That's unfortunate. 42 a week isn't bad. Let's take a look and see what they got. Doctors find air pocket in man's brain. Male lions fight huge crocodile. Let's see, Playboy cryptocurrency. Already covered that one and shit. That goes up this weekend. Chinese reporters epic eye roll censored by Chinese censorship. That's seriously the title. Chinese reporters epic eye roll censored by Chinese censorship. Toys R Us going down. Studies say there may be life on Saturn's moon. Okay, let's see here. Chinese zookeeper becomes food for the tiger he raised. That's horrible. There's got to be like a weird news RSS feed, but I'll follow that one and put that in my what the fuck category. I've got categories out the ass. You have like no fucking idea. There we go. I sit there and I've got some weird shit. Where's AP Oddities? AP has the thing they do for oddities. So let me take a look here. AP Oddities. I don't know if I could find that shit. AP top headlines. Oddity Central, collection of oddities. Could we play? No, it's not what I need. I don't know. There's like so much to like look at here and trying to find stories. If Pornhub has a news section, yeah, totally. I did hear about the Russian plane whose cargo unlatched and dropped out gold and silver. I did hear about that. That's pretty funny. But it's also like not one that particularly caught my interest. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting like over, not, I don't want to say over like certain things. It's so weird. Like I was watching the Deep Fat Fried Guys, TJ's new podcast, and at first I didn't really care much for it, and I've been watching some of their new episodes, and I kind of like that format, like doing more of a compilation discussion on longer form topics, which is pretty cool, and that might be something worth looking into. I mean, someone described it as, oh, it's Wikipedia the podcast, which is kind of true, and to be fair, I've done that before. But I'm always looking for new things that kind of like tickle my fancy and whatnot, and sometimes finding stuff, but then again, not every day is Christmas. So there's definitely that as a what would I think about doing snaps currency for people who watch on Twitch? Oh yeah, I would do that. Yeah. Yeah, I was watching the Buttresses stream yesterday, I think, and she was doing like, she has like Buttcoin. And so I was looking at that going like, that'd be kind of funny. Let's see. Weirdness. All right. HuffPo has got one. Oddity Central. Okay. Reuters has, oddly enough, one article per week. There we go. Offbeat headlines from AP. That could be kind of fun. The only downside to the offbeat headlines. The Mirror has weird news. Mirror's usually got some good shit. I don't know how I didn't see that before. Let's put that in there. I'm looking through some, let's see, Reddit. I do. NBC has got weird news as well. That's good. And Topics has weird news. Okay. Family finds yet another super rare Ty Cobb baseball card. Showcases. Columbine High School releases balloons for shooting victims. That seems interesting. Yeah, I just like the weird news and shit. That's kind of what I care for the most. But all right, that's all. Oh yeah. I got to talk about that too. Apparently, Black Panther is viewed as boring in China. I should talk about that one. It's a 2-day-old article, but it is not that horrible. Take a look here. Maybe we'll do it tonight. I do need to do. Hold on. I think I got to do five. No. Oh, that's a bit shit. That's a bit of a long one. Hold on. My phone's going off. What are we looking at here? Okay. All right. That's a long. Okay. Hip Hop Wired had read through it. Let me take it. Okay. Oh yeah, there we go. We could do this one. That'd be pretty funny. I think that'd work out pretty well. So what one will I draw? Well, we'll do all 5. You know what? Fuck it. We'll just do all 5. And then we'll see how I'm feeling. If I'm feeling okay, maybe I'll do a call-in or something like that. Oh God, I hate some of these fucking websites that have like this autoplay video shit. No one wants it. Leave it alone. Okay. Yeah, and stream's starting to fuck up again a little bit. I think the stream fucking up like that has to do with Google Chrome just sucking down so many resources. Because once I close out Google Chrome, it seems to work okay. So we're good there. And all right. Thanks a lot for the pimping on Discord, Porcelain. Appreciate that. Ever thought about reviewing video games, but not in a fart huffing way like most reviewers do? Just the entertainment factor. I would actually, that's kind of how I like to review movies, believe it or not, is whether or not I was entertained. And so I kind of want to do like, that would be something I could do for like maybe $3 Theater. So the people of China must be racist. They also didn't really care for Star Wars: The Last Jedi either. So the people of China clearly are not racist. The people of China clearly are just, their own people. But at the same time, I kind of understand where things are at right now. What you have to understand about the Chinese market is that it's an emerging whatchamacallit. It's Oh, fuck me. What is it called? It's an emerging. God damn it, my brain. There's an emerging middle class, and that emerging middle class is going to want to go to the movies, which is one of the reasons why the Chinese Film Board has been working with Hollywood studios to let in, I think, 16 big budget Hollywood movies a year. Only 16. And as a result of that, those usually tend to clean up pretty well, which is one of the reasons why Hollywood was getting so much Chinese money for so long, was because of that. And now the Chinese middle class is wanting to see more Chinese movies, and those movies are killing it over in China, and I mean killing it. Putting some of our box office returns to shame just in terms of pure turnout. Now, granted, there's 1 billion people in China, and there's only 300 million people here, so the margin for theater goer is higher, which is why they want that dollar. But at the same time, what you're dealing with is a situation where Hollywood, I don't believe in many cases, is going to be able to sustain itself much longer. I think they're going to have to scale back budgets. If not, they're going to find themselves in a very precarious situation in terms of financing, because they keep kind of screwing themselves, and I don't think the media helps at all. So yes, they are emerging, but still under the Communist Party's heel. I know there's a very, like I said, there's a very large bout of censorship with that. That's why only 16 movies come in, and they're heavily monitored, they're heavily changed. Was it Alien Covenant went there last year and only had like 2 shots with the xenomorph in it, and it left audiences confused. Like, who would even do that? Like, what's the point? So, you know, it's no Firefox. I don't have a problem with Firefox on my computer for everything else. Right now, Firefox takes up well, it's taking up around, yeah, Google Chrome and Firefox eating at my memory and shit. But I still have a lot of memory left. I want to upgrade my memory. That's like the next phase. When I get past taxes. And OBS is eating up my GPU a little bit. Not too much, though. Not too much. So I've also had a GTX 970 for a couple of years now, so it's time to upgrade. Maybe this year will be the year of upgrading. So, literal ghosts are not allowed in China. Yep, that's very true. Like Ghostbusters wasn't allowed to go to China. And I think honestly the Chinese film goers are better off. When will Hollywood be politically neutral? Never at this point. Here's the thing too. A lot of celebrities get their heads up their ass over how popular they are, because people are always telling them how good they are. And YouTubers have a very similar problem. Like we do, and there's an ego issue with a lot of us, myself included. I'm not gonna lie. But ultimately, we think, in some cases, Hollywood celebrities feel like they're more important than they are. Just as some of us feel like we're more important than we are. Was Deadpool banned in Canada? Yes, it was. It was. It was. I remember Grace Randolph coming out. That's when my first video I watched of Grace Randolph was her trying to say they should do a PG 13 version of Deadpool so the kids could go see it. I'm like, the kids are just going to go see it anyway. Like, parents aren't going to care. Like, Deadpool was really only rated R for like swearing, and the violence is not an issue. They watched The Walking Dead. They do more in The Walking Dead. So, Hollywood would have to be hit with a nuke in order to become politically neutral. Yeah. What will happen if Hollywood, if it can't sustain itself? It will shrink. It will start to shrink. In essence, Hollywood itself is kind of already shrinking. More and more people are like going to North Carolina and Atlanta to film because it's cheaper to shoot movies out there. And so they do all the post-production work inside Los Angeles. Like I would say if you are an actor, your better bet would be to go to the East Coast, to go to North Carolina or go to Atlanta specifically, and to find work out there in that field, because a lot of stuff is shot out there. Or, alternatively, like, be on the East Coast and have access to New York, because that's the thing too. A lot of stuff shot in New York, and a lot of TV is filmed in Los Angeles, but movie roles aren't. very much. And if you do find stuff that's shot there, it's usually pretty low budget, and you're not going to get paid a lot of money. So it's a lot of hustling, and a lot of people just simply don't make it. And that's unfortunate, but that's kind of where things are right now. And I don't know if they're ever going to be different because of the digital technology. We can shoot wherever, and it's all about just trying to find financing. And if we, if setting up like more of an independent financing ability, I think would really kind of help rein in Hollywood a little bit. But the problem with it is, though, is that stars want too much money. Studios pay out too much money. They pay too much for marketing because they kind of have to in terms of marketing. Now, as a person who gets paid off of marketing, I'm totally fine with that. Go ahead, but that's the whole issue, is that they have to do that because they have to get eyeballs on screen and then get those butts in seats. And that becomes more of a problem now when you have your phone and your tablet and your TV that all can produce content that is as engaging as what you might see in a theater, except the theater experience will never be replicated from your 4K TV at home, but it might be good enough. And that's ultimately what the problem is. One of the reasons why they're charging more money now for home video releases, because people are just waiting until things come out, and then they'll spend the $25 versus spending $70 for a family of 5 to go see a movie. And that is something that the studios are realizing. But then again, the digital side of things is really kind of where the money is, because that's more on a sustainable marketplace, because that's a constant flux of cash coming in. Look at Netflix, 100 million monthly users, right? $8 billion a year in content. Disney's going to rival that pretty well. And that is going to be where a lot of the next phase of entertainment goes, is streaming, because people want it. They want it now. They want it accessible, and they're willing to pay a premium in order to have access to that particular type of service. So there's that. Yeah, Rob Liefeld is a bitch. He blocked me on Twitter because I said Luke Skywalker's arc in his arc was shit, basically, in Star Wars. CBS and Paramount shut down Axanar because they had to. And yes, it probably had to do with the fact that it looked better than, what they were coming out with, but they ultimately, there was a reason there. I do feel like Axanar, it's a bit of a weird situation. When I defended Axanar, man, did I catch a lot of crap from friends of mine who are Trekkies. But then Alec Peters, we've talked a few times and stuff. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens with everything. What's going on, Grim Reaper? How are you, buddy? Yo, what's up, Vargos? How are you, man? So thoughts on the new Gods movie? I don't even really know much about it. I just know, if there, I have to go look into it. So there's that. Yeah, did I hear about Ninja playing Fortnite with Drake? Yeah, I did. People were talking about that last night. It's not really, the thing is, that kind of story is not something I would really cover unless there's an interesting angle to it. There was they made a lot of money, and then it was they did something with it or whatever. Will CBS and Viacom merge? I don't think they're going to have much of a choice not to be honest with you. I don't think they're going to be able to not merge. That's going to be a thing. So, yeah, I don't know. Kylor, you'll see me at I will be at Kilroy. Yeah. Yeah, this is so funny too. There was something I got sent today. I got sent this video. This guy was like, Kilroy exposed, right? And it was this supposed screenshot of a DM of Base Mama threatening to dock Sargon or something. And I'm like, he says that there's it's not real. He says he doesn't know if it's real, but then he starts the video with that, and then continues to go through the video treating it as if it's real. And then I kind of said on Twitter, I'm like, hey, if you're gonna, I'm going to this event. If you have information about it being scandalous, then you need to come forward with that. I don't think he's going to, though. You will take on the 1,000-mile journey to meet me in Phoenix. That is a wasted journey, my friend. I am not worth meeting in Phoenix. Our reaction channels dead on YouTube? I don't know if they're dead, but they're not profitable. YouTube YouTube made sure that that was the one thing that Grade A Under A did in 2016 is he essentially killed those kind of channels. And you know, the whole make YouTube great again hashtag that Susan Wojcicki responded to, that got a lot of attention, and effectively they kind of removed the pay structure in regards to how they operate. So I don't know if they're dead. I know Jinx is still around because during February for Black Creators Month, YouTube featured him on their main channel, on their main Twitter page. So, or Twitter account, they tweeted him out like, Jinx is still around, everybody, and we're all like, what? Like, who cares? Like, you're literally promoting a guy who does reaction videos. Like, I might read an article and give my opinion, but that is still far more engaging than what Jinx does. So, I mean, it's like you're scraping the bottom of the barrel here, YouTube. But he has over 1 million subs, so they thought, oh, he's going to be a prominent Black creator. We're going to want to use this to pimp a narrative. So, would I play Fortnite with Drake? Yeah, but the whole time I would just give him shit for fucking Degrassi. Right? I would just give him shit for Degrassi. Who says that Deadpool was banned in Canada? We're talking China, not Canada, Godfather. Yeah, Grade A Under A also tore apart Matthew Santoro. He did, true, that's very true. But Matthew Santoro is still here, and Grade A Under A has not been seen in a long time. Right? When's the last time Grade A put out a video? I mean, if he has, I must have been unsubbed because I haven't seen it. So, right, sorry, Garrick. It was Tyrone Magnus. I was thinking Jinx, but it's Tyrone. Same thing. Same crap. Tyrone puts out a little bit different, you know, a little bit. He talks more than Jinx. If I'm gonna go to Arizona to see the Grand Canyon, I won't be able to go see the Grand Canyon. Did I say Canada? I'm pretty sure I said China, but I am tired, so that could happen. I'm pretty sure I said China. I would not have said Canada. I don't know. But like I said, today's like end of the week dad stuff. I'm just wiped out. Okay, why don't we, you know, let's jump in to the stories, because let's get that shit on, man. Let's get it on. Oh, you want to come meet Daniel? Yeah, he'll be there. Him and I are, yeah, we're going to be hanging out there. I haven't hung out with him since, well, no, I was up in Seattle a few weeks ago. And we were there for the Drunken Peasants 24-hour stream. Whatever happened to Grade A Under A, the world will never know. Yeah, exactly. Oh, did I bump the mic? Sorry. My bad. All right, where are we at? Okay. Take a look at this here. Nope, not the one I want. Okay. There it is. There it is. Yep, that's right, guys. Snaps. Make sure I'm recording. Okay, everything here seems to be holding stable, thankfully. Cool beans. All right. Black Panther was one of the fastest movies to hit $1 billion. And it's insane. The movie is just like, it's fire. It's lit. It's on fleek, as the children would say. And it's also a good movie. I really enjoyed Black Panther. So I'm kind of surprised to see the headline of this article here. $1 billion blockbuster Black Panther reportedly too black for Chinese moviegoers. I guess I can see that, sure. I've also heard too boring to Chinese moviegoers, which given, I guess you could say, the lack of action in the movie being one of the reasons why the first negative review was a negative review, could be a reason. Now, it says here that Black Panther opened up in China this past weekend and had a very strong showing. The record-breaking film hauled in $63 million, which helped the film pass the billion-dollar mark, putting it in some very elite company. The movie definitely did bring moviegoers out of China, but it didn't get the rave reviews it enjoyed here in the States. Well, not everything is going to get the same reviews everywhere. Different cultures interpret different things differently, and China is known for very much cutting things short. Right? Iron Man 3, for example, had extra scenes shot specifically for China because they took Chinese investment money into the film. Alien Covenant had, well, quite a bit of the xenomorph cut out of the movie because of China's no ghost or weird kind of occult paranormal situation. They're rules. They're dumb. They're dumb rules in that regard. Hell, 2016's Ghostbusters was completely banned in China. I think we all can agree that China was better off. Those lucky bastards. Anyway, one of the main complaints was that the movie was just too black or too dark for some Chinese viewers. Blinks in Wakandian, they also seem to hone in on Lion King equivalences quite a bit. On the Chinese equivalent to IMDb called Douban, Black Panther is holding a very modest 6.8 out of 10 rating. Half of science fiction and action movies on the site have been rated higher by users. In the reviews, which have been translated, some of the Chinese views accuse the film of trying too hard to be politically correct. One viewer even said maybe the Chinese are still not used to seeing a film full of black people, and claimed he had to pinch himself to stay awake because blackness made him drowsy. What? What? Blackness made him drowsy? What? How is that? I saw the movie in IMAX and it was fine. You know, there might have been people on the screen with a higher melanin count than I had, but it wasn't enough to put me to sleep. I don't quite understand. There were freaking battle rhinos in the movie. That was cool, man. Now, some of the reviews say this. The villain has its own skills, intense phobia attacks. This can be said to be a black movie with no black soul because there is no sense of rhythm. The race setting is a bit reminiscent of mystical race Nox, where dragons and the interplanetary stare are not seen. Ending egg. Jesus is in the winter. The front seems to say after that the Oscars in the water. Someone asked Nolan what the Oscars will be next year, and Nolan said that the next time the Oscars will probably be Panthers. It just feels a bit dark. Okay, so this is obviously translated from Chinese into English, and yeah, okay. So what he says here is that the movie, it's a black movie, but it had no black soul. It had no black rhythm. Essentially trying to say it had his person's mind. It's kind of a racist thing to say to an extent. However, I'm not too sure if they meant it comes across as kind of racist in the translation. I'm wondering if they were like, you know, it's got no rhythm, it's got no soul, and that's what they see in terms of pop culture in regards to black people, and that's what's throwing them off here. That might be a thing. That's I would argue probably like, you know, Occam's razor, that would feel more accurate than not, but still, yeah. And then saying basically that Christopher Nolan said that next year Black Panther will sweep the Oscars, and Disney is in fact making a push for that. They are rumored to have a full-fledged Black Panther Oscar campaign for next year. I don't see it personally, but okay. Now, it says here, another review, there is no preview of the film's good looks. The entire essence of the game was a small part of it. The story was simple and cliched. The latter part was boring and almost impossible to see. Now, that could also be in line with the darkness comment. That depends on the theater itself. Maybe there is a problem with the bulb. The climax of the movie takes place in a dark cave. Where, you know, you have two guys that are dressed almost all in black, fighting in a dark cave. You can still see what's going on, but if a bulb is dimmed in the theater, or for example, they're watching this in 3D, which requires more a brighter bulb, and if the bulb starts to dim, it does make some stuff harder to see. That could be a factor. So I don't know, but that's also the essence of the game was a small part of it. Was there a game? with Black Panther that I'm unaware of? Okay, so it says even if the screen with the highest brightness is selected, the movie still looks dark. Okay, so this is telling me that there are projection issues. But what this author here is trying to equate this to be is that the movie looks too dark, meaning too many black people. It's not. Look, I've worked in movie theaters for 14 years. I've worked on 35 millimeter projectors for a long time. Yeah, nah, it's a bulb issue. It's so that's what it boils down to. It's just a bulb issue, and bulbs suck. I mean, they're fun to break, but they suck overall. It goes, it feels really visual fatigue on Marvel, and the old-fashioned story of Prince's Revenge infuses the politically correct theme of black equality. There is, of course, a great ambition, but the limitations of creative vision are still obvious. The other is Disney's garbage transfer. 3D technology should really be used to criticize it. Night shows and blacks are all too special to see. Okay, so it is the 3D problems. So the 3D, because it requires so much light. That's the problem. The digital transfer of the 3D is where they're finding themselves having these problems. But that being said, the Prince's Revenge is not even necessarily the storyline of the movie, because he's not the prince, and even the bad guy getting revenge wasn't even really a prince at that point. He was, maybe, I don't know what his direct title would be, but I understand what he's saying. It wasn't necessarily the most politically correct movie out there. Wakanda was in fact an ethno-state. And that was the whole battle that T'Challa had with himself. It goes on to say here, Marvel's success lies in the fact that it will not be because the story is inferred and the drama sets the first half of the movie. It is stunning that the tribal culture world it created has a solemn and complete thickness that can stand the scrutiny, but the second half is too far away from the sky. After playing from South Korea, it became a lame Lion King to catch the circus. It was not at all fun to play. The extension did not delay disappointment. Male coach, but the performance needs to improve. And why do you think all blackheads are a bit longer? So basically, enjoyed the drama set up from the first half. Probably saying maybe if I'm going to put words in this person's mouth, there's a little bit on the Shakespearean side, that kind of power struggle, and a prince trying to find his place as king now. And then the last half of the movie was kind of like, Simba versus Scar, which I get. So I see what they're trying to say here. Now, it does say there are some positive reviews as well, but a good number of them posted to the site were damn near racist. No, it's not necessarily racist. They're interpreting the word differently. And that's said, this author is trying to claim that they're racist. I'm not saying that all of them aren't. Like, there's probably a couple there that probably are. But based upon saying it's too dark to see, it's too black, it's too dark, that's more referring to the 3D technology in the bulb and the projector. If I had to bet money on this one, I'm going to tell you that's probably what it is. So China still has some work to do when it comes to race. Just recently, a Chinese actress donned blackface during the annual Lunar New Year TV gala. They also cast a black actor to play a monkey. So Bernard Beans Smalls here is taking things at a very literal, in a literal way that doesn't quite fit in when you know how movie theaters operate. But I don't blame him. If I'm being fair, I don't blame him at all. I kind of laugh at this thing because Black Panther is not being perceived as being racist. It's just the digital transfer of the 3D print is crap. And the technology, like the projectors there that people are seeing this in, are maybe not up to snuff in order to play them with a brighter bulb. And that's probably a big part of the problem, considering that the climax takes place in a cave. That being said, yeah, the people were kind of ragging on the movie, saying it was a little bit too slow and not action-packed enough. And if you look at what they usually get in terms of action, that does make a lot of sense. So again, this is not an issue of racism. This is just an issue of different cultures approaching a movie like this differently. But remember, when it comes to Black Panther, if you are negative or critical about it at all, there are people out there that will brand you a racist, very similar to when Ghostbusters 2016 came out. And if you dislike that movie for whatever reason, you are also a sexist. They should have gone with an LED bulb. A lot of places are still they still use these big. They don't use LED bulbs, like they're not strong enough yet, if I recall. Their technology could have changed, but when I've worked on 35 mil and even my brief experiences with digital, those were not as crazy as you might, or the bulbs were still very much a certain way. So let's jump into the next one. Okay, this is going to be a fun one. So, okay, some 3D showings, usually DSP, are underexposed by a full stop because many theaters don't seem to understand they're cutting exposure in half and need to compensate to fix it. Yep. Because the thing is, they don't teach you how to work that shit. They really don't. They just kind of throw you in there. Hit play, you know. But that's one of the reasons why, like, I don't like 3D films. That and I wear glasses, so they're annoying. But yeah, some movies do good in 3D. I thought that. What was the last one I saw in 3D? I saw Justice League in 3D. Did I see Justice League in 3D? I think I saw Justice League in 3D. I don't remember if I did. I don't know. What the fuck did I last? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This is going to be a fun and interesting. Sorry. Oh, I've accumulated 85 traps, but I just checked, and so far 85 traps are 85 snaps. It's not streamlabs.com/Monday. Matt, it's my last stream of the week, guys. I got a shill. I got rent to pay. I got bills. I got a baby to feed. Hook it up. Streamlabs.com/Monday. There you go. That's I'm putting that in there. God damn it. All right. I am not against being a shill. Not one damn bit. Okay. Snaps traps, guys. They say that hell hath no fury like a lover scorned, and as a person who's been in a relationship for 10 years, I am glad that I'm in a relationship. I look at these kind of stories and I always go, damn, I'm just glad I'm not dating anymore. I've dealt with my fair share of crazy bitches, and this one seems right up in there. So what you have here is a boyfriend who survived a samurai sword attack, and he says, it scared the living poop out of me. You think, bro? When you got a crazy girl coming at you with a samurai sword, and you're like, yeah, that scared the crap out of me. Yeah, because she was cutting at you with a samurai sword. That would scare the crap out of anyone, especially those who are wielding it and don't know how to actually use it. Anyway, so Alex Lovell nearly lost his fingers, his life, and he appears to have lost the woman that he loves. Otherwise, the Camus man is feeling pretty good. I was just so proud for beating the samurai wannabe crazy lady with hate in her heart, Lovell, 29, told the Oregonian in a Facebook message exchange on Wednesday. I've been preparing my whole life for something like this. Really? You've been preparing your whole life to beat a samurai wannabe crazy lady with hate in her heart? I mean, I understand that video games they condition us to want to fight the paranormal, the supernatural, and the downright evil, but I don't think they also offer us the proper skills to defend ourselves against someone wielding a samurai. Now, the woman, Emily Javier, 30, his girlfriend of 2 years, Javier faces attempted murder charges after she told police and a 911 dispatcher that she attacked and repeatedly slashed Lovell with the samurai sword during the wee hours of March 3rd. The incident has drawn national and international headlines. It also landed Lovell in the hospital, where he remains recovering from multiple wounds and lacerations. In an interview with the police after the attack, Javier claimed she found a Tinder dating app on Lovell's phone and also fumed over his penchant for playing too many video games. See, this is it. This is what happens. They always try to blame it on the games. They want to blame it on the video games. They want to say, like, you play too many games, therefore your girlfriend attacked you with a samurai sword. You could pretty much argue that, like, the Tinder was maybe like the straw that broke the camel's back in this particular case. I mean, like, as I said, I've been dating my girlfriend for a long time, like well before Tinder was a thing. I don't even know, do you swipe right? Do you swipe left? I literally have no idea. Lovell admits he may have spent a bit too much time in front of the computer, but he insists he never cheated. He says, I barely had time to hang out with my girlfriend, let alone another girl. Yeah, because video games take up a lot of time. Trust me. I'm struggling now to find time to even play them. In recent months, Lovell said he had spent 12 to 13 hours a day playing and training for PlayerUnknown's Battleground. Oh no, come on, man, really? A computer game where players parachute onto an island, gather weapons, and blow each other to bits. Yeah, that's a fair assessment, but you play, don't get me wrong, I love me some PUBG. I love me some PUBG. but playing 12 to 13 hours a day? Is he streaming? Is where he's making his money? The long hours also required him to spend time doing exercises for his hands, wrists, and shoulders, and also practicing mouse moves and techniques to maximize performance. Okay, I give the guy credit for doing like calisthenics. That's something that I think a lot of people who play video games and sit for long periods of time tend to not do. I myself fail at that quite often. He says here, I wasn't a sweaty nerd. I'm more of an etholete. Can we just add that to the word never to say in 2018? I'm an etholete. Okay. Lovell said, describing a person who has an intense online gaming regimen. Javier told police she hatched the assault on Lovell after she found evidence he had been unfaithful. First, there was the Tinder dating app, she said. Then she said, saw sexually suggestive scratches on his back. Finally, Javier found red hair in the couple's shower drain, according to the police report. Her hair, on the other hand, is dyed green. Yeah, that would probably piss off anyone, right? Like, what is a strand of red hair doing in the shower? Now, one can argue that it seems weird that she would come across that, but then again, how many times if you have women in your life, do you find hair in the drain? It's just, or hair everywhere. I don't want to just say in the drain. I literally want to say and you start to recognize what your partner's hair looks like. And so if your hair is dyed green and you find a red hair in the shower drain, you're going to be a little bit on the suspicious side. So also sexually suggestive scratches on his back. Here's the thing though. She would know if he was as good of good enough of a lover in order to be able to facilitate getting scratches on the back. Now, Lovell said he had Tinder on his phone because when he first met Javier, but later deleted the app. As for the other allegations, basically she was delusional, he says. In an interview with police, Javier said she had suspected he cheated on her before, an accusation she says he always denied. He also mentioned she had grown increasingly incensed by the limited attention he paid to her. Now, that makes a lot more sense. It does. I mean, relationships, like everything, take work. They take time. And if you do start to kind of push them off or not invest the time into working on them, they can have issues. And I think a lot of couples in the United States and abroad have those problems because we are working more hours than ever before, taking fewer vacations than ever before, finding ourselves addicted to our smartphones, our tablets, our gaming, or whatever. Like I work from home, but I work from home. I spend a lot of time working, so I understand that completely. Like that it can get in the way. I understand that. And it is something that people out there do need to work on. Now, she told police that she grew enraged, went to a shopping mall and purchased a samurai sword. Oh, that's her first mistake. Come on, you don't go to the mall to buy a samurai sword. Those things couldn't cut through really anything. They're decorative. They might open a letter or like cut an apple, but you're not going to be able to do much else with them. Now, she spent the next week stewing and plotting her violent revenge. Yeah, that's where we get into premeditation here. Yeah. She bought a sword, then spent a week planning how she was going to attack him. This girl be crazy, and this guy be lucky. Now, her anger peaked at night, March 2nd, when Lovell returned home and ignored her, Javier said. About 9 p.m., she went into the couple's bedroom, where she had taped a samurai sword and 2 knives to her side of the bed. Holy crap. Lovell later joined her and drifted off to sleep. Javier told police she hid her boyfriend's phone so he couldn't call for help. Ooh, that's a crazy bitch. When the lights went out, Javier said she retrieved her samurai sword and brought it down on her boyfriend, according to a probable cause affidavit. Lovell said he woke up to being attacked by Javier. His instincts kicked in, and he drew on his lifetime of kung fu films and martial arts training. Okay, like, I know that this is a real story, but parts of this do come across as being a little bit on, like, the over-the-top side. She bought a samurai sword, spent a week stewing about it, then taped it to the side of the bed, and then when she attacked him, he was like, oh, what would Jackie Chan do? You know, WWJCD, right? And then just like, oh, I know how to wrestle this thing away from her. He's like, I was able to Wing Chun my way to survival, Lovell said, referring to a traditional form of Chinese martial arts that focuses on close-range combat. Eventually, he got her into a bear hug. I saw the look in her eyes, and it scared the living poop out of me, he says. I told her I loved her and she was killing me. She needed to call police or I was going to die. A 911 call obtained by the Oregonian reveals a woman who appears to be stricken with grief and horror over the violent outburst. The distraught woman, who identifies herself as Emily Javier, tells police dispatcher she just stabbed her boyfriend repeatedly with a sword. She tells the dispatcher she couldn't go into the bedroom because there was so much blood. I think he's dead. You need to hurry, the woman tells the dispatcher. Officers arrived at the couple's northeast Garfield Street home just minutes after the call. Officers entered the bedroom and found the walls spattered with blood and Lovell curled up in a ball, the police report shows. Yeah, you get cut up like that, you're going to be hurting, man. You're going to be hurting. He was rushed to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. Lovell's index, middle, and ring fingers were nearly lopped off at the base, though doctors have been able to reattach them. He has deep lacerations on his feet and legs and may have fractured his wrist, which is in a cast, Lovell said, and there are various other wounds to his torso, neck, and the left side of his head. So if this dude's an ethelete, which is a cringy term in and of itself, but I'm not using it as a mocking tone here, this basically cripples his career. Now, if he was a streamer, if he was in a league, because they haven't talked about if he was in there or not. But that's, man, that's just like, that's some shit. That is some serious shit. I feel bad for this dude. I really feel bad for this guy. He says, obviously I got some gnarly injuries. At least he has a sunny disposition about it. Members of the PlayerUnknown Battleground gaming community have launched a GoFundMe campaign. As of Wednesday, it's raised $8,000. That's good. Gamers coming together, especially gamers coming together to save a bro from a crazy girl. Lovell says he anticipates a long road to recovery. It could be 6 months until he's walking again, and he will require extensive physical therapy to regain the full use of his hands. Until then, he's savoring the small victories, saying, the feeling I had when I won the fight with my bare hands is just absolutely the best feeling. I've played all the sports, won big games, landed some decent tricks on my snowboard. This was better. I get that. I understand the mentality there. You want to have a positive mindset. You know, I would argue that, like, out of all situations in your life, this one probably doesn't really, like, should never rank in the top 10. Unless it's like the worst category. But sure, have a positive outlook on it. In the best possible way. And that I do believe is the best way to go about it. It's a mind game. It's a mental game. If he sought into any kind of depression over it, it would just eat him alive. It really would. It would eat him alive. But here he's doing okay. He says, asked if he and Javier were still an item, he wrote, I haven't spoken with her, if that's what you mean. LOL. Yeah, that's a question from the reporter. So like are you and this girl, like, are you guys like still together? Like, I mean, I know she tried to kill you, but it's, I mean, like, it could have been like temporary insanity, you know, like you still, you know, you still want to tap that sort of thing. He says she called the authorities and saved my life. I hope that counts for something. It's a bit complicated. Regardless, I assume she needs some serious help. Her trial is set for May 7th, and her bail is set at $350,000. And yeah, I get it, man. Like, you could look at her face right there. You could see everything that she's, you know, that sense of shame and that sense of despair. That's a hell of a thing. It's a hell of a thing. Like, look, these kind of things are no laughing matter overall. Like, ultimately, there's no laughing matter here. It's still a crazy story, but it does go to show you that there are reasons why you should work on a relationship. Not everyone is gonna, you know, wake up to having your significant other attempt to kind of, you know, John Bob at you with a samurai sword, but it will work. I think this should serve as a reminder that love is a job, and that maybe you should spend more time working on it. Seriously, what the hell, man? Could have died, but nah. Yeah, I know. I mean, I give the guy credit for a very sunny disposition on it. I do. I give the guy lots of credit for that one. That's good, because you need to have it. So, I don't know. It's in Oregon. I'm in Washington now. So, I mean, I guess you could say general region. Sure. Close, but not close enough to be able to, like, know where it's at or anything. Will she get the pussy pass? I don't know. She's got a bail set at $350,000. The thing is it's the premeditation part of it that's going to get her. She bought the weapon and spent a week planning how she was going to do it. That's what they're going to get her on. So, yeah, watch out if your SO goes to the mall and buys a samurai sword. Exactly. How long will it take me to get to Phoenix? I don't know how that's a relevant question. Time? I don't know. I don't know why you want to know how long it will take me to get to Phoenix, especially given what we've been talking about. You're kind of creeping me out, Kylo. Kylor. Hiding his phone. Yeah, hiding his phone and that. Yeah. Did he catch her renting Kill Bill? Exactly. When are we getting Cyberpunk 2077 news? I don't know. I thought we were going to get something out of CD Projekt Red, but what we got was just, Geralt is going to be going Soul Calibur. They're putting him in Soul Calibur, which is just like dumb in my opinion. So there's some issues there. All right, where the hell are we right now? Let's jump into the next one. Hit that record button. All right, remember guys, snaps for trips. A couple days ago, it came out that YouTube was trying to fight back against conspiracy theory videos by putting in snippets from a Wikipedia article about that particular conspiracy in an attempt to debunk it. But the problem with that is that Wikipedia was like, say what now? They had no idea that this was going to be implemented because no one at YouTube told them that this was going to be implemented. And I find that to be fascinating. It's not, and at least as far as I can tell, not illegal because Wikipedia is in essence open source and therefore is in the public domain in that regard. So that shouldn't be an issue. But at the same time, you kind of want Wikipedia to partner with you in order to help, I guess, curate the news that would be used on these particular videos. Now, it says here that YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki said during a South by Southwest talk this week that the company would be making a more concerted effort to stem the spread of misinformation on its site. Specifically, YouTube plans to start adding information cues, including text boxes that link to third-party sources like Wikipedia to videos covering hoaxes and conspiracy theories. But in a statement, Wikipedia Foundation has now said neither it nor Wikipedia were told about YouTube's announcement ahead of time. In this case, neither Wikipedia nor the Wikimedia Foundation are part of a formal partnership with YouTube. We were not given advance notice of the announcement. In fact, this is the full statement. We are always happy to see people, companies, and organizations recognize Wikipedia's value as a repository of free knowledge. In this case, neither Wikipedia nor the Wikimedia Foundation are part of a formal relationship with YouTube. We were not given advance notice of this announcement. Today, Wikimedia is a fundamental part of the internet's infrastructure. From our articles to our citations to our datasets, we are a major part of the open global commons, a driver for free learning and open research, and an example of what the World Wide Web was supposed to be. Hundreds of millions of people rely on Wikipedia every day in hundreds of languages. Wikipedia's content is also freely licensed for reuse by anyone, and that's part of our mission, that every single person can share in free knowledge. We want people all over the world to use, to share, add to, and remix Wikipedia. So that's probably one of the reasons why YouTube just did not even involve them. It's like they don't have to. I would argue that it'd be a good idea that they would involve them, because having that partnership, that formal partnership, would go a long way to kind of like solidifying what they were attempting to do. But I did point out in my video about this the other day that the criticism I have for that is not everything in Wikipedia is 100% above board and requires a lot of moderation from an editing staff or from the mod team that would end up being looked at in this particular case, because who knows if people would go in and try to edit Wikipedia on these particular conspiracy theory pages and hoax pages as a way to alter the information to kind of screw people over. Now, granted, that would probably not happen, considering the fact that every time an edit is made, it would, there's a log of that, and a mod can in fact overrule that and delete that. So, still, it just makes sense to me. Now, all of this is possible because of 6 million people who donate to keep Wikipedia running, the hundreds of thousands of volunteer contributors, and the countless others who support our work. At the same time, we encourage companies who use Wikimedia's content to give back in the spirit of sustainability. In doing so, they would join the millions of individuals who chip in to keep Wikipedia strong and thriving. So, yeah, we can basically discern, because it goes on to talk more about their articles and everything else. Basically, what they're saying is they're looking at YouTube and saying, "Fuck you, pay me." That's what they're saying. They're like, no, hold on here. Like, yes, you can remix this. We allow you to remix this. We want you to remix this and share it and everything else. But, you could also maybe pay us a little bit of money. Like, that's their nice, subtle way of going like, money, please. Money, please. That's what they want. And that's fine. That's totally fine. I get that. They're going to hustle where they got to hustle. I just wonder if that's going to be something that happens. And because people are kind of looking at this too, saying, well, why didn't, YouTube talk to Wikipedia? Probably because of something like that. Like, well, we can just use this information and we don't got to pay for it, but they're going to want us to pay for it if we talk to them. So let's just beg for forgiveness instead of asking permission. Now, it says, well, there are plenty of conspiracy theories floating around YouTube. The platform took notice recently as some of its users began spreading false information about a Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School student. A video claiming he was a paid crisis actor rather than a high school student who had just survived a school shooting became the #1 trending video on the site. YouTube took it down, as well as some others claiming the same thing, and the company said those types of videos qualified as harassment and were therefore in violation of its policies. However, other conspiracy theorists, like those that claim that the moon landing was fake, which don't violate policies, can stay up, and YouTube's new information cues are geared towards pushing back against that spread of misinformation regarding events, like the moon landing, that are widely accepted to be true. YouTube said the feature would be rolling out in the coming months, and that there's no word yet if Wikipedia being in the know will have any impact on that. And the thing is, well, they've already basically said no. They've already essentially said no, it's fine. By coming out and saying, hey, yeah, no, you can remix and share this and everything else. Totally fine, totally straight. There's no legal leg for them to stand on if they wanted to go and file anything, which they clearly don't want to. That's not their intent. What they do want is to kind of draw attention to the fact that they want YouTube to pay them. So, Wikipedia saying, we don't know what's going on, but here's our PayPal link is pretty much how things are. And I don't fault them one bit. Like I said, you got to hustle where you can hustle. And Wikipedia goes on these stupid drives. Like, oh man, they're so annoying every time. But that being said, there's no such thing as a free lunch. So getting access to this kind of content, if you like it, you should throw down. And I think that goes for media across the board. If you like something and you can support something, you should probably try. And that's ultimately what Wikipedia is asking here. They're doing it by throwing kind of like a minor amount of shade on YouTube. And the question is now whether or not Susan Wojcicki is going to listen to any of that and make a donation to Wikipedia, or if she's just going to ignore it and act like it never happened, like the moon landing that they are trying to stop people from thinking about. I might cut off that ending there. Just leave it at the never happened part. That's just that's the whole point. They want the money, man. They want the money. That's it. That's all they care about at this point. Is they want the green. And again, I don't fault them one damn bit. They want to get that shit. So yeah, Wikipedia does control content, but Wikipedia is not going to screw with I would argue that Wikipedia is probably not going to end up screwing with what's it called? Like the moon landing and shit. Like that's not going to be their thing, right? Like they're not going to worry about that so much. However, we could find ourselves in a bit of a precarious situation involving that here down the road if they tried. That'd be pretty funny if you ask me. I would laugh at that if they did that. So, okay. Oh, man. Sorry, I got a bit of a stuffy tonight, so let me try to get through this one. Okay. We got 2 more to get through. About a half hour to go. We're doing good. We're doing fine. We're doing good. We're doing fine. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I can't. It's the end of the week. It's my Friday, man. I'm tired. I should have gone and got some caffeine. All right. Snaps or traps, ladies and gentlemen. Snaps or traps. One of the biggest problems about being a video gamer is the constant push from certain groups out there that video games cause violence, that video games are the reason why we have so many horrible things in the world. Never mind the fact that we had many horrible things before video games, right? I mean, like, video games might be violent, but did they cause the Holocaust? No. Did Hitler roll around in GTA Online and be like, time to exterminate the Jews? No, of course not. He just was a mass murdering fuckhead. Video games don't bring that, they don't bring that out of people, as evidenced here by this new study that says after 2 months of daily Grand Theft Auto, says no significant changes in behavior. So studies are trying to say, like, video games cause violence. You see that brought up. Trump said a little bit about that the last couple of weeks. And now we're finding out that Grand Theft Auto, the most violent of video games, according to some people, doesn't have any changes or doesn't cause any changes in anyone's behavior. Now, it says here, a new longer-term study of video game play from the Max Planck Institute of Human Development in Germany's University Clinic Hamburg-Eppendorf recently published in Molecular Psychiatry, found that adults showed no significant changes on a wide variety of behavioral measures after 2 straight months of playing daily violent video games. Most scientific studies on the effects of violent video games measure participants right after the completion of a gameplay session, when the adrenaline prompted by the on-screen actions is likely still pumping. Researcher Simone Kuhn and her co-authors argue that the effects observed only for a few minutes after short sessions of video gaming are not representative of what society at large is actually interested in, namely how habitual violent video game play affects behavior on a more long-term basis, i.e., they don't actually cause violence. We know this. Like, we know this at this point. It doesn't cause violence. To correct for the priming effects inherent in these other studies, researchers had 90 adult participants play either Grand Theft Auto 5 or The Sims 3 for at least 30 minutes every day over 8 weeks. A control group played no games during the testing period. The adults chosen, ranging from 18 to 45 years old, reported little to no violent video gameplay in the previous 6 months and were screened for pre-existing psychological problems before the test. So that's good, trying to have like a clean slate to go in. No video game experience really in the last 6 months, like no hardcore Call of Duty sessions with your homies, and also, not being cray-cray. Understand. The participants were subjected to a wide battery of 52 established questionnaires intended to measure aggression, sexist attitudes, empathy, and interpersonal competencies, impulsivity-related constructs such as sensation-seeking, boredom-proneness, risk-taking, and delayed discounting, mental health, depression, anxiety, as well as executive control functions. The tests were administered immediately before and immediately after the 2-month gameplay period, and also 2 months afterward, in order to measure the potential continuing effects. So this was not like something like, hey, how you feeling? Hans? Good. Did you kill people in Grand Theft Auto 5 today? I did, yeah. Okay. How are you feeling? I feel fine, okay. Did you engage in any sexual activities with any prostitutes in Grand Theft Auto 5? I did, yes. I had sex with 2 of them. They were quite lovely. I tipped them extra at the end. Okay, so you didn't bash their heads in with a baseball bat or shoot them dead with a shotgun and take your money. No. I just engaged in sex with them, refilled my health, and went on with my killing rampage. Okay, that's basically like that kind of questionnaire is how I'm assuming things went down. Quite frankly, I think I'd get a little bit further into Hans's sexual proclivity with hookers in Grand Theft Auto 5, but then again, I've got some weird things I focus on. Anyway, over 208 separate comparisons, 52 tests, violent versus non-violent, and control groups pre versus post and 2 months later tests, only 3 subjects showed statistically significant effect of violent gameplay at a 95% confidence level. Pure chance would predict that more than 10 of the 208 comparisons would be significant at that level, leading researchers to conclude that there were no detrimental effects to violent video game play. Good. Can we put this everywhere? Can you send this to Jack Thompson, right? And just cram it down his freaking throat, or suppository it, whatever. I don't care what your kink is. on that one. Send this to Anita Sarkeesian at the same time, because this is stuff that they need to know, right? Because if you can finally dispel the myth that video games don't cause violence, and video games don't cause sexism, and video games don't cause school shootings, maybe, just maybe, they'll go away. Probably not. They all want to get paid. As video games continue to be a convenient scapegoat for many politicians and critics in the wake of continuing school shootings, this new comprehensive study provides strong evidence against the frequently debated negative effects of playing violent video games. The results aren't all good news for gaming proponents, though. While other studies have found gameplay had a positive effect on executive control tasks like multitasking, this study found no such benefits. Well, I think that in part has to do with first-person shooter versus third-person shooter. Right. I think the way we approach is differently. I have no scientific basis to back that on. It's just kind of how I view it. First person, you're looking down the barrel of a gun. You're examining the world around you. You're focused on what is directly in front of you, and that becomes your target box. Whereas when you're playing a third person, you have camera control to scan the world around you, and therefore you are kind of not as engaged in what is directly in front of you. You have the ability for a 360 view, which can then, I think, lead to a different set of skills. You're not listening and then trying to pay attention where something is or see it in front of you. You have the ability for spatial awareness in its entirety, and that could have a different impact at all. It says here, while this is encouraging new direction for game research, it's not the final word on violent gaming effects. The authors acknowledge that future research is needed to demonstrate the absence of effects of violent video gameplay in children. On that score, the longitudinal study of 11,000 British youths from 2011 found playing electronic games was not associated with conduct problems, for what it's worth. So they've tried this for years. They've tried to say that games are the problem. They tried for years to say that video games cause all these issues. We've been battling back against Anita Sarkeesian and her nonsense since 2012, since Jack Thompson and his nonsense since 2002, 2002, somewhere in there. We've been battling back from Joe Lieberman and Tipper Gore from the early 90s. Hell, movie Bob Chipman has referred to that moment in time in the late 80s, early 90s as his own personal Vietnam when it comes to dealing with this kind of pushback against violent video games. The dude's my age. I'm in my mid-30s. It's the dumbest thing a person can say, but I understand the sentiment. It's still dumb, though. Dumb. But no, video games don't cause violence. Video games don't do anything like that. And people need to stop running on the narrative that they do. Hopefully, this will help more people realize that it's all about limiting your exposure to these games in terms of not letting it take over your life. But if you want to sit down, pop in Grand Theft Auto 5 or Grand Theft Auto Online and go around and blast the hell out of some digital NPCs, it's not going to make you pull a Randy Stare and go into your shopping center and kill everyone in a violent, shotgun-laden rage. It's not going to happen. Unfortunately, though, too many pundits out there make their money by claiming that it will. And every bit of information that counters that narrative is never enough to stop them. And I don't know why, and it's so damn frustrating. And hopefully one day we'll be able to put this debate to rest once and for all. So, yeah, he's still a dumbass. Yeah, don't shoot people in real life. Do it in video games. I know. I was playing. What's it called? Kingdom Come today. And I kept trying to do this mission. It was a hard mission. I had to go and steal some shit. And every time I got caught, I just would kill everybody. I'd pull up my giant warhammer and I would just kill everybody, and then I'd restart it, and I'd end up doing it all over again. You use games like GTA and Doom to cut loose? Yeah, actually, I agree. When I was younger, I was picked on a lot in school. I played a lot of Doom. I come home, I play like Duke Nukem 3D, I play Doom, I play Wolfenstein. It kind of just helped me get some aggression out and shit. Video games stopped me from getting into fights. But you never hear about that, right? Video games do cause gambling? What? No, they don't. Video games make your girlfriend buy a samurai sword. That is true. Yeah, I should have brought that up. I should have brought that up. Oh, okay. What's the last story here? All right, let me just take a quick look. Do I want to cover this one? Do I want to cover this one? I don't know if I want to cover this one or not. Because it's gonna like, it's just crazy. But you know what? I kind of like to crap on Fox News, so let's do it. Why not? Why not? Let's just do it. I haven't watched the Far Cry 5 short film, but I know that I've seen it floating around out there. I just haven't watched it yet. I need to watch it though. It's on my list of things to watch. It's on my list. Okay. So, yep. Seth Rich story. Final one of the night. Final snaps for traps until Sunday night. So streamlabs.com/Monday, Matt. Come on. Let's try to get $70. It's at 65 right now. Let's get to 70. You guys can. I believe in you. I believe in my people. All right. One of the worst things about the 2016 presidential election is the Seth Rich murder mystery, and it has been used by the right so heavily in terms of propaganda that it makes me very happy to see that that Seth Rich's family is fighting back by suing Fox News over fraudulent reports. And it's not just Fox that were pushing this narrative. I mean, my God, Alex Jones brings this kind of crap up constantly. Just the other day in Republican circles or right-wing circles, there was articles talking about how Seth Rich was confirmed by his parents to be the DNC leak, even though there was no actual evidence of an interview with his parents coming out having said that. And then a couple days later, we find out that Fox is being sued by them for fraudulent reporting. If that if that narrative was true about his parents confirming it, then why the hell would they sue Fox News? They wouldn't. They wouldn't, but they've asked people to stop politicizing their son's death. But people on the right like to use it as a way of pushing this narrative that just it sounds like something you'd find like in a Tom Clancy or a John Grisham novel, but it doesn't feel reflective of what really happened. And maybe it did. But again, this is not where things are anymore. You have to move. It's been a couple years. You got to move on. .org. The parents of a Democrat Party employee who was shot and killed in 2016 are suing Fox News for spreading a conspiracy about his death. After their son Seth Rich died, the cable network made an unsubstantiated link between his death and the WikiLeaks disclosure of hacked DNC emails. Now, part of that came from many people online claiming that he was the person. I think that Kim.com has made the claim. He said that he knew that it was Seth Rich, but then again, Kim.com is in this battle himself with the United States government over copyright and intellectual property infringement, and as a result of that, I'm sure he will say anything and everything in order to get the case dropped against him. And I don't blame the guy for wanting to get out of his legal troubles, but he's been talking about this for a while and never provided the evidence, at least a smidge of evidence, to back up his claim. Now, Joel and Mary Rich have filed a lawsuit that says Fox News intentionally exploited their son's murder. Well, to be fair, what news outlet hasn't exploited someone's murder? I just want to put that out there. I mean, really. Can you name one that hasn't? No, you can't. The May 2017 Fox story was retracted by the network after a week. A Fox News spokesperson says we cannot comment on this pending litigation, obviously. The lawsuit asks Fox News to investigate reporter Malia Zimmerman and Fox News guest Ed Butowski that spread false and fabricated facts that caused emotional harm. Mr. and Mrs. Rich said in a statement, "No parent should ever have to live through what we have been forced to endure," according to the U.S. media. And the thing with that, though, is I would agree. The situation surrounding his death is, in fact, interesting. It is very interesting. They haven't been able to get a lead on it. Sometimes these things happen. People out there want to believe that he was a person who leaked the DNC emails, that it wasn't a hack by the Russians, or it wasn't WikiLeaks working on behalf of the Russians. They want to try to treat it as this was an inside source. And I understand why they want to use that narrative. I do. I get it. But there's been no evidence to support that. And if there has been, WikiLeaks has not shown it. Kim.com has not shown it. Fox.com ran with it because it was a hot topic issue, and now they find themselves in an illegal battle as a result of this kind of false reporting. And that is a problem that many people out there, when you talk about these issues, have to deal with. Speculation is the basis of a lot of op-eds. A lot of people speculate about a lot of things all the time. I'll make a comment on Twitter about one thing, and then someone else will speculate that, I don't know, I'm some kind of secret part of some secret cabal to rip YouTube off or something based upon me saying like, hey, patreon.com/Monday. It's the weirdest stuff in the world what people will come up with, but they're protected under the First Amendment by doing so. However, if you spread false and fake news, it can get you in a lot of trouble. Now, the lawsuit adds, it goes on to say, the pain and anguish that comes from seeing your murdered son's life and legacy treated as a mere political football is beyond comprehension. I'm sure there are other people out there that would agree with you, completely agree with you. The lawsuit adds, Fox continued to exploit the sham story because it was good for ratings, which is also true. It was a hot topic issue at the time that mostly went underground, but there are still people out there that are still talking about it. Very similar to the Pizzagate scandal that was ultimately not a scandal. It was a non-issue overall, but there are people out there that are still running around YouTube making daily Pizzagate videos. So it's a huge thing that still goes on. People run with this stuff because the conspiracy side of it, the mystery, the intrigue is enough to keep people engaged. And when these people run out of ideas to talk about, I think they'll take any backwards anonymous 4chan Reddit post or whatever and treat it as absolute irrefutable truth, because it's confirmation bias, I think is the best way to describe it. Now, the lawsuit adds, Seth Rich, a 27-year-old Nebraska college graduate and DNC staffer, had lived in Washington, D.C. from 2012 until his death in 2016. He was shot in the back in the northwest city of Bloomingdale neighborhood, where residents had reported a spat of gunshot robberies. Following his death, some right-wing media suggested his killing was revenge by figures linked to the Hillary Clinton campaign for allegedly leaking embarrassing DNC emails to WikiLeaks. Yeah, that's how they were trying to turn it against Hillary Clinton. And there are people out there that will probably watch this and go, yeah, but it's totally true. She totally did it. No, you don't have any proof of that. And the fact that Hannity still, 14 months into a Trump president, brings up Hillary Clinton every time he wants to distract from the stupidity of Donald Trump shows you that this is just being used as a scapegoat, as a distraction, and there's no new information on it. As I said, the other day it was trending a little bit, but the information was just a hearsay, and it was just manufactured on some low-level blog that got picked up by larger blogs that were running their mouths about it. And so it doesn't ever get fact-checked. But this lawsuit has been submitted to a court, therefore it is, at this point, a legal matter. Sean Hannity, writers at InfoWars, and Republicans in Congress contributed to spreading the conspiracy theory. Yeah, they did. Prominent Republican Newt Gingrich took up the story after it was published and said Fox News, it wasn't the Russians who hacked the DNC emails. It was this young guy who was disgusted by the corruption at the DNC. There's been no proof of or evidence of any of that from what I've been able to see. It's all speculation and theory. But it sounds good when you're trying to win a presidential election. And it sounds even better when you're trying to use it as a distraction against the crap that's actually going on in our government. Mr. and Mrs. Rich are arguing the lawsuit that Fox News' reaction to the death painted their son as a criminal and traitor to the United States. WikiLeaks itself fueled the conspiracy theory by offering a reward for the capture of Mr. Rich's killer and hinting that he may have been the source of the emails. And again, that was just a good distraction front at the time. I like WikiLeaks. Not so much anymore, because I've said for a long time that they're just actively working with the Russian government at this point. That's what it feels like. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but it feels like that. It feels like they've just become a puppet for that regime, and they want to, they want to basically protect their source, I think, on a few things, to be honest with you. But my trust level of them as an organization has gone down heavily when I used to look at them with absolute infallible eyes, which is my own problem, I will admit. No evidence has emerged to indicate Mr. Rich provided the emails to the anti-secrecy organization. The Washington Metropolitan Police Department said his murder was part of an armed robbery. The lawsuit filed in the Federal District Court of Manhattan claims Fox spread the false story through lies, misrepresentations, and half-truths with the disregard for the obvious harm that their action would cause Joel and Mary. Now, the thing is, it's not just Fox, but it's InfoWars, it's Newt Gingrich, it's a bunch of other people. So them targeting Fox News specifically does kind of feel like they should be going for everybody and not just one particular person or one particular entity. But at the same time, Fox does have the deepest pockets, so they probably think they can get some kind of settlement, maybe an apology and a retraction. Mr. Butowski, a wealthy Texas businessman sued by the riches, told CNN on Tuesday night that he does not understand the lawsuit at all. The whole thing has caused an unbelievable damage to my life and my family. And he, sorry, that's like pot meat kettle, man. And the idea that somebody is capitalized is ridiculous. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, no, he's gone on there. I've seen him pop up on Fox a couple times to talk a few things. People were trying to make this as a way to capitalize. Maybe not through financial gain, but through political gain, political capital. To use it as a way to damage the Democrats, to try to seed doubt amongst Democrats in the country. It's like, wait, the Democrats got revenge on Seth for leaking the DNC emails, which showed the truth of the corruption and all that jazz. Look, if that's happened, it's been 2 years almost, and there's not been one shred of evidence backing it up. There's not been one shred of proof to say that this allegation is real. And it's sad that the family has to go through this. It's sad that their son, who died in what appears to be an armed robbery gone wrong, in an area where there were gunshots. And if you don't believe that the thing is too, people don't like to really talk about the fact that Washington DC, like not like Capitol Hill and like, you know, the political side of it, Washington DC as a whole is a very crime-ridden city. It is super criminal shit going on there. A lot of crime. And so when I heard about this, I was like, oh, yeah. I mean, it probably makes more sense that he was just shot down in a robbery gone wrong. But then people like to say, well, his laptop wasn't taken. His wallet wasn't taken. All of these things. And that those things have been then put in some kind of custody. You can find Seth Rich conspiracy theory videos on here. And honestly, in regards to YouTube bringing out Wikipedia links to kind of push back against conspiracy theory videos, I do hope that this is one of the first ones that is marked. Okay. Crime is so bad in DC that sometimes even the citizens are involved. Let's see. Crime rates in okay. Let's see. Looking at violent crime, specifically Washington, D.C. has a violent crime rate that is 6% lower than the District of Columbia average and 193% higher than the national average. So, yeah, District of Columbia and Washington, D.C. Like, oh, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad in D.C. People just stick to, like, certain areas and shit, but, yeah. There's a lot. I'm trying to find the actual the area. It said, like, was it the Northwest? Colonial Village, Barnaby Woods. What was it? What was the one he lived in? It was Bloomingdale, the northwest city of Bloomingdale. Okay, northwest city of Bloomingdale. Brightwood, Manor Park. I'm trying to find it. I don't know. Oh yeah, I was looking east. I wasn't looking west. I was looking east. That's just stupid of me. All right. Come on, move your ass. I can't find it. Bethesda, McLean, Arlington, Alexandria. But yeah, I mean, just looking at like just one of these ones here. It's kind of like the more inner you get. Okay, so the more inner you get to the center of Washington D.C. is where the crime rate goes up. So it's a lot of crime. There's a lot of crime there. Sounds like we need to have a mundane meetup in the D.C. area. Yeah. The guy got 200 in traveler checks. Yeah, D.C. is fueled with crime. It has politicians. Very true. Very true. But I don't have a sense of direction. Not tonight. Not tonight. Not tonight. Tonight's not my night. What can I say? Like, what's that song? Tonight. Yeah. Anyway. Okay, so it's 11:22 right now. Got through 5 stories. That's good. That's good. Got content to get through the weekend, which is good. I like that. I'll definitely piss off some conspiracy nuts with that Seth Rich video. That's for fucking certain. So I can do like 10, 15 minutes of Q&A if you guys have some last minute questions, stuff you want to talk about. We can do that. And then I'm probably gonna fuck off and get everything done, so I can try to get to bed maybe at a decent hour if the baby will let me sleep. Which she doesn't always let me do. I love my kid, but man, I just want to go to a hotel and sleep all night, not worry about it. But that's usually what I do on the weekends. So, chat hasn't been busy, that's for sure. Yeah, it's tonight. I didn't promote it on. I did not promote it on what's it called? On YouTube. I got a little bit later. I didn't get to do it at the right time. So essentially, I didn't post it out there, I should say. And because I didn't post it out there, a lot of people didn't get the notification and come on in and stuff. So that's kind of the thing. And I've also been exporting the streams to the side channel, to my vlog channel, as a way to help, to bring it over to YouTube so people can in fact see it. And like an idiot, I totally fucking forgot to raise my internal volume again on the phone. God damn Microsoft. There are some things that just suck about Microsoft, just really, for some reason my computer likes to auto-regulate my the microphone. So if I don't reset it before I record, OBS records at a much lower rate. And that just, that really throws me the fuck off. So there's that. So that sucks. Weekend plans. I don't know. I don't know what I got going on. Good night, Rodog. Thanks for coming in, man. So, I don't know what I'm going to do. I know next weekend is that big March for Our Lives protest, and there's one in Seattle, and my girlfriend wants to go. I kind of want to go check it out, maybe interview people about it. Other than that, yeah, I don't know. The Drunken Peasants were hitting me up about coming on tomorrow night, but I don't really want to. I've done a lot of podcasts this week. So I've been on 3 different shows, and then doing 5 nights of this stuff, so I'm kind of tired. Want to play a lot of Kingdom Come Deliverance, but I also really want to go to the gym because I haven't done that in a week. So, wow, you're paid hourly. Your base salary is $70K, but with OT hit 124 last year. Fuck yeah, man, that's awesome. That's how you do that shit, man. So, yeah, I did. I was on the Coalition podcast on Monday. I was on Thunder Pop Buzz Tuesday. And last night I was on the Mythicist Milwaukee guys had a show. And yeah, so I was on a lot of stuff. This has been a busy week. Networking for AWS has moved out of Seattle, out of the country. What is AWS? Today's been mundane for you. I'm good. I'm happy for that. So yeah, it's done. It's done. I've done quite a bit. All right. Fuck. Actually, I think I am gonna call it. Just because I started kind of rocking back and forth, and that just gave me a wave of tired. So I'm gonna call it tonight. I might jump into the Discord, so if you guys want to go into the Discord, and then I'll come in. I just I could talk for a little bit and stuff, but jump on in there if you guys want to do that, and we can chit chat. But for the most part, I think we'll wrap it up. I'll be back Sunday night, same time. Hopefully OBS won't be as much of a cunt, and everything else will be a lot better. But in the meantime, Have you guys have yourself a great weekend. I will talk to you guys Sunday, and peace out.